I think was the most competitive out of the four. It was made by Raven. I actually had some success with it this morning, so he built that deck for me. But the rest of them are just either my design or Blizzard's design, which means they're trashed here essentially.
So Eden did actually ban the Hunter, which makes sense, like you say, if it's the most competitive deck. He obviously saw how powerful it was, and he thought, actually, I'm going to get rid of it, I'm not going to give it to Tabitha. So we are going into game 2 now. Tabitha will go for the Shaman.
Both?
Shaman.
Both Shaman.
Both Shaman, yeah. So both.
That's me. Hey guys. We will be going into the game in a second, but it is a Shaman mirror matchup.
So it's the evolved mirror matchup, and it's whoever's going to have board control should win the game.
And whoever evolves better.
and Tabitha's hand is just terrible, so she's not going to be in a great position. Whereas there's a little bit more of a competitive hand coming out from Eden. He's got Totem Golem, then he can turn 3 coin Tuskar Totemic. He's in a really good position, whereas Tabitha's sitting there with 2 Mana Tide totems in hand, thinking, what's happened to my life to deserve this?
Well, Mana Tide is going to be an awful play as well, because obviously the Totem Golem is going to be able to just finish that off straight away.
I like
but
this
Rock Biter Weapon is going to deal with the Totem Golem. And it means as well that now, essentially Eden has a second turn 2 to deal with. You can't play your Mana Tides, you can't play your Totemic. However, he does have a coin.
Yeah, that classically, when Shaman came out, this Shaman deck came out and Totem Golem was released and Tuskar Totemic was released, everyone's dream was going second, having Totem Golem come down and then coin Tuskar Totemic, because it allowed you to retain pace with the coin. Because that's why, having second and having Totem Golem in hand is really good. And then you can see here, just coin Tuskar Totemic. RNG gods have kind of favoured Eden here. He gets the Mana Tide totem, and that happens to me almost 100% of the time on ladder.
Card draw into more card draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Eden's going to be laughing off the back of that. He's going to be well happy. But we now have 4 Mana Tide totems in play, 3 in either player's hands right now, as well as Novice Engineer. So there's going to be much card draw in the next few turns.
Yeah, that was the only play that I think Tabitha could have. She could have gone for Mana Tide and then Evolve, but it feels kind of horrible to do that. And now the Evolution is coming forward here. Usually you like to trade off some damage onto the minion before evolving it, but it's just going to be a straight up to face Evolution here for Tuskar Totemic. And that's not a bad one.
That's pretty alright.
Yeah.
That kind of denies the option of just ignoring and going face, because obviously, if any of you haven't seen this, I don't even know what this card is called. I can never remember.
Animated armor? It's something like that.
I'm
yeah,
not sure.
I got the thumbs up from Subtle. I got it right.
But basically, it means that your hero can only take 1 damage at a time. So it means, basically, Tabitha doesn't have the option of just going face at this point. She has to start trading.
She can, but she'll be doing 1 damage at a time.
She chose not to use her Novice Engineer last turn to go 1 damage. She just evolved it instead. She thought, I can win this game without this 1 damage. If she is 1 damage off lethal later, I wouldn't call her out.
I wouldn't even mind seeing just Evolve. But if she traded into the Mana Tide, I wouldn't mind just seeing Evolve, just to make sure that 4-1 has some sort of impact. But yeah, I think Lightning Storm looks all right. If you could potentially roll a spell totem and then get Lightning Storm here, that could clear the entire board.
You could even Lightning Storm and just Rock Bite.
Yeah, you could
finish it off.
for guaranteed. Yeah.
He's going to opt to go for the card draw though, using the Novice Engineer, and you can see the smile from Tabitha every time it's played. Clearly, she's very happy.
If you have cosplayed Novice Engineer, you're going to be pretty happy every time Novice Engineer gets played. In fact, I found that it's a really interesting cosplay. I would never have thought to cosplay Novice Engineer. It's just such an unsuspecting card. It's just that 1/1 that draws a card.
And actually, next to Sims, she does look like a bit of a gnome as well, because Sims is so tall, so kind of fits.
At least you can deal with this Mana Tide now, which has had insane value for Eden. Right? It's been sitting there drawing cards for at least 4 turns, so he'll be fairly happy.
And he's got another one in hand as well.
The amount of cards that he's got, he's just going to get board control, and then that Bloodlust might come out, or the Evolve might come out, and it's going to be detrimental for Tabitha, really.
But she's going to have a fairly strong board at this point in time. She's just seen a Lightning Storm, unless you're worried about another. He can't use Fire Elemental because he has the Overload, so he's stuck to that 4 mana.
Well, think from below for 4 mana. That seems pretty good to get off the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree with you. And Tabitha doesn't exactly have an easy way to deal with it in hand right now. You could also use the Rock Biter and deal with the 3/4 totem with that Novice Engineer, and then end up just playing another Novice Engineer or another Mana Tide just to start drawing cards once more. But then obviously that goes down immediately to the Totem Golem, so you wouldn't be too happy about it.
Sorry that I'm basically sat on you right now, but I'm just trying to see.
You know, I love it when you're well within my personal space.
Just trying to see the screen.
A little bit of bromance going on here.
So the novice engineer is going to be played. Tabitha will be very happy once again.
And I think this is basically, I don't want to let Manatide stay. I don't want this to exist.
Well,
I just looked over and like Kiernan's caressing Dan.
You saw the damage that the Manatide Totem was providing on Eden's side, so he clearly knows what he's doing. He's rank 6. He's up there. He can roll with the big boys. I think from like rank 5 to legend. I mean,
can he, Dan?
I think he can. Get any of these average players up on the stage.
We've got some real average players over here in the front row. I don't know what.
The UK's best. I think Eden should be playing tomorrow in the semi-finals. His hunter game was on point.
This is not too bad. I mean, again, you have seen that Lightning Storm already, and also you're setting up a decent board for the Evolve should you want to. And there's no real easy way to have an effective dealing of everything. You could fire Elemental into the Manatide, but then you're still leaving a fairly strong board for Tabitha. So she's actually managed to regain some form of board control.
I mean, actually, this is looking pretty awkward for Eden. He might start playing some totems. He could Totem Golem into a Flame Tongue and then play Thing from Below.
Totem Golem, Hero Power, Thing from Below could work.
Or just Flame Tongue.
Yeah, Flame Tongue could work as well, actually, you're right.
He could even just go for Manatide instead. So he's well calculated his totems there to reduce that Thing from Below to 2 mana cost. And he will draw another card with the Manatide Totem. And actually that Evolve and having the Bloodlust in hand, this is looking quite good for Tabitha.
I think decent play here is playing Thing from Below, maybe Lightning Storm, and then look for an Evolve, or trade one in, then look for an Evolve. That's not a too bad play.
No, I think you want to use that. This is probably the best board she's going to get, and she's running out of cards as well.
Why don't you use Hero Power, search for the Spell Power Totem, that reduces Thing from Below to 0, and then you could play Thingamajiggy, Thing from Below.
AKA Thingamajiggy.
All of the twos.
Never lucky, Baby Rage.
Oh, that is painful to watch, but she does still have an answer to clear the board at least, so going to be able to deal with the totems and everything else. And actually, if you take a look at Eden's hand, he doesn't have a whole lot to refill the board with, except kind of totems and things that affect totems. He does have that Doom Hammer and the Fire Elemental, though, so those are going to be big influences for him throughout the rest of this game.
I really want to see someone use the 1 mana Evolve spell. Tabitha's got a pretty sizable board at this point. It could be a fairly decent attempt going forward. I mean, like you said, there's not really that much here for Eden to do in terms of
regaining board. You could just Tuskar Totemic, use Hero Power and Evolve. I
wouldn't mind seeing Fire Elemental either to deal with the 2/3 or the there you go, the Manatide.
There's no efficient way to trade into this Fire Elemental and use the Evolve, which is obviously what your aim is when you want to get your minions down to like 1, 2 health, and then you want to use the Evolve.
The dream, you just go for Tuskar Totemic, it gets you Totem Golem, you use your Hero Power, then use Evolve, and suddenly you've got a really wonderful looking board. But that works as well.
I was going to say, you can also get the Fire Elemental, which will be an even bigger minion coming out. You've got 2 6 manas to evolve right now, which is...
I'd consider the Evolve here.
Just delicious. Just delicious. Here we go. So the Evolve is going to come out. What are we going to get? Corehound as well.
And Captain Skycrank. Yeah.
She didn't end her turn. She waited just in case of a charge. Now that's a sign of a professional player.
That is a sign of... I would have ended the turn. I always
do. Not a professional
No, I'm a terrible player.
There's no worse feeling than ending the turn and then realizing that you got the charge. It's the same with Varian Wern or Rin. I never know whether it's Varian
I say
Wern
Rin.
or Rin.
I just
whichever way you say it, someone's going to call you up saying
exactly,
it
yeah. But it's the same with that. Obviously, you can draw charges with that and end up screwing yourself.
If they don't clear, has Tabitha got lethal next turn?
She's got lethal with Bloodlust, yeah.
Yeah. So hey, Tabitha bringing it back with this Evolve Shaman, and Evolve really proving a nice card.
So Eden could go for a double Evolve here. Just to try and maybe get some taunt minions, charge minions to try and do something with this board.
I'd play the Flame Tongue as well and give you an extra chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to do double Evolve, it just makes sense to have more minions.
So he would get 4 mana cards if he were to do that. It does look like he's just going to opt to go for Evolve straight off. Maybe he wants to use the Flame Tongue.
Charge.
Yeah, he wants to charge him to use the Flame Tongue, but he does get nothing. No taunts.
That's painful.
And that will be it with the Bloodlust in hand for
And the thing is as well, he knows he's playing the same deck, so he knows there's good odds that she has a Bloodlust in hand. He knows that it's looking dicey at this point, and with 10 mana to use the Bloodlust and the Doom Hammer, it's easily enough for Tabitha to take this game. 12 damage to face with the Corehound. And that is going to mean we are now up to 1-1 in this series. So Tabitha bringing it back with the Evolved Shaman.
And I said that was the least competitive deck out of the lot.